Construction during class time is alarming to students at App State University. Welcome to AWN on AppTV. I'm Jacob Woowert.
And I'm Riley Carlson. We are following a developing story today that forced classes to be canceled on the Boone campus. Wey Hall is under construction, and there were claims on social media that a piece of debris fell through the ceiling and almost struck a student in the photography studio. A university representative has denied that specific claim. However, Dean Campbell of the College of Fine and Applied Arts confirmed that classes were canceled Wednesday afternoon. In an email addressed to the Department of Art students, she stated that Wey Hall will reopen on Monday at 8 a.m. on March 25th. Campbell did not mention an evacuation in her message, but did acknowledge that concrete debris from the construction did fall into an unoccupied office. The debris was discovered upon returning from spring break. She also noted that contractors for the construction failed to follow the university's safety protocols. Dean Campbell assured everyone that, quote, there will be no drilling in the building for the remainder of the semester.
For the latest, let's go to AWN's Dylan Henston, who has more on this developing story. Dylan, what's unfolding?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the B.B. Doherty Administration Building on the campus of Appalachian State University in Boone. Behind me is a peaceful protest being held by art students, and a lot of these art students are expressing this frustration because of the lack of space that they have. Just this past year, App State began a project to remodel Wey Hall, and during this point, a lot of the students were relocated to different areas on campus, East Hall being the most predominant one. I spoke with a student here who expressed their frustration with the App State administration.
We're here to voice our frustrations and our concerns about Wey Hall, the art building. It's been under construction and demolishing in the top 2 floors while we've been in class and having to deal with those disruptions and lack of resources. This past week it has been closed from, I believe it was Wednesday until Monday, limiting our time for studio time and space. A lot of us, I'm in senior studio, so I'm trying to finish my entire thesis project, and it's due in a week, and I've gotten days taken from me because of what's going on top of being displaced and being in different buildings. But yeah, just to voice our frustrations on lack of resources.
Wey Hall is just one of the areas addressed in a recent Board of Trustees meeting at Appalachian State University. Chancellor Everts also spoke of plans for the future in what could be called an App State of the Union style address. Brennan Schrader breaks it down for us.
As spring arrives at Appalachian State University, the Board of Trustees met to discuss previous accomplishments and future opportunities.
Convening on March 15th, the board held a series of committee meetings to discuss plans, projections, and report on progress for the university. There was a particularly noteworthy report from Athletic Finances. Ticket sales are projected to contribute 22% to this year's operating revenue budget. This follows a trend which has seen ticket sales increase year over year by roughly 11% since 2014. This self-generated revenue has led to less of the total budget relying on student fees, now down from 52% of the total in 2015 to 38% this year. A new sports complex for App State Athletics is moving along well, which will enable the App State tennis team to field matches at home on a court on campus for the first time in 3 years.
Phase 2 of the App 105 project is underway and will be completed this summer. Phase 2 of the project includes a new softball facility, outdoor tennis courts, an athletics team support building, public restrooms, and an access road.
There are also many other new developments for App State. The topping ceremony recently took place for the Holmes Convocation Center parking deck, which will add 600 new spaces when finished this summer. It will accommodate parking for both events as well as faculty, staff, and student parking during non-event times. Renovations are also underway for Edwin Duncan and Wey Hall, with additions to Peacock Hall planned for later this year. Phase 2 of the Hickory campus development is in the works.
This phase is broken into 3 smaller phases of work and will include a new computer lab, cybersecurity lab, and sciences lab, which will be completed this summer, and classrooms on the 2nd floor, which will be ready in time for the fall 2025 semester.
One project discussed during the meeting has taken some students by surprise in the past few weeks. The expression tunnels on River Street are being renovated. The university stated that this work is being done to improve the safety and security of the tunnels. When the tunnels are completed, students will no longer be able to paint the walls.
While there has been some pushback from students and alumni who like the idea of being able to paint areas on campus, it has not been significant.
The controversy around the tunnels is still a developing situation. As you can see behind me, years of student expression has already been sandblasted off the walls. This is sure to be one of the most closely watched projects at App.
The expression tunnels at App State has certainly been water cooler talk during the last couple of weeks. In our first opinionated segment of the year, Lucas Warren gives his thoughts on the topic and also what could be a good compromise for the future of the campus tunnels.
On March 1st, the weekly update from Chancellor Everts was emailed to all App State students, faculty, and staff. Nestled into the end of this email was a paragraph describing plans to remodel the Freedom of Expression Tunnel. Chancellor Everts said, "The tunnels, which for many years have been dark and covered in graffiti, are now on their way to becoming bright, secure pathways that reflect school spirit." Expression tunnels aren't a new concept. NC State has had one since 1967, while App State's has been here since 2009. There are examples of these tunnels being used to promote hate rather than artistic expression. Since they're open to everyone, you're bound to get some people writing inappropriate or even hateful speech at times. If you've walked through these tunnels, you know what I'm talking about. I believe this is what the university was trying to address with their recent changes. And while I agree with addressing the issue, I do not agree with their solution. NC State was faced with a similar situation, and instead of axing expression, they embraced it. Every Monday, NC State holds their Cypher event, where local artists and musicians share their work. This promotes the purpose of the tunnels, artistic expression. Instead of abandoning said expression, I would encourage App State to take inspiration from NC State. There are beautiful hand-painted murals all around Boone, and the tunnels could have added to that. All App State would have to do is allow commissioned artists and students to paint in the tunnels. In this case, the university would still be supporting artistic expression while removing the possibility of hateful speech. Regardless, as you can see, construction is already underway. Do you agree with the changes? I'm Lucas Warren with Opinionated on AWN.
After the App State basketball team expressed itself all the way to the Sun Belt regular season championship, it may need some more parking for its fans next season. Well, they are going to get it. In fact, Nick Goodman tells us the new parking deck will help many on campus.
A massive project is coming to a close. The Home Center parking deck has been under construction since last June, and now it's nearly complete. Dan Lizell, the Vice Chancellor of Finance and Operations, is working to ensure that the deck will improve parking, not just for games, but for all across campus.
It will be a multifunctional parking deck. It will have 600 spaces, and we'll be using it for faculty and staff parking, student parking, guest parking. Of course, it will be used for a variety of other events, including commencement, athletics, so forth, but it will be fully multifunctional.
The 600-spot parking garage will replace the 100 parking spots from the previous surface lot. In addition to that, there are other unique ways that will assist the university as a whole.
It'll be different for football. It'll be sold as part of the tailgating packages that athletics sells. So it'll be just like every other lot on campus in that way. During basketball, I'm not quite sure yet. So it's a brand new parking deck right next to the basketball stadium. And so we still need to see how it's going to be used there, but it'll be great.
App State is planning to complete the $21 million deck before the fall semester starts this August.
That was a lot of news packed in our first segment of our show. So much so that I may need to do a little shopping.
Well, I might just have the place for you if you're into vintage clothing. We'll head to King Street in downtown Boone to give you the lowdown on a new old place to shop.
Let's go!
To a place where you can grow.
A place to be heard.
And take a closer look.
A place where you can crush it.
And push yourself.
A place to find your voice.
This place rocks. And rolls.
A place where you can get out.
Wow!
A place you'll never forget.
So where is this place? Let me show you.
There's a new addition to the Boone vintage scene as Off the Rack, a new vintage store, has made its appearance on King Street. Originally based in Winston-Salem, you won't believe who owns the new shop in Boone. Our very own Lucas Warren has the story.
If you're a seasoned thrifter, you'll know that finds like these are hard to come by. That's what Off the Rack, the newest addition to Boone's vintage scene, is trying to accomplish.
The whole idea for this was just giving somebody a store where they don't have to go and take the time to thrift it. It's all here.
You may be wondering who this young man is, and you may be surprised to hear he's the founder of Off the Rack.
I'm Anson Limley, basically the founder of it, the one that started the whole thing. Starting a clothing store, everybody that starts one, you have to go thrifting. You have to go to the Goodwill bins and handpick every piece yourself.
Ansel has successfully opened 2 stores in the past 2 years, but he's still in high school.
I'm 18. Yeah, I'm still a senior in high school, yep. I'm actually from Winston-Salem. I go to Hopland Christian Academy though.
Like me, you may wonder, how does a senior in Winston-Salem run a store in Boone?
So me and my dad actually run this location, and then we have a guy named Fabio that runs our Winston location. My dad's up here basically every day doing it.
If you've heard of Kicks on King Street, another premium vintage store founded by a high schooler right here in Boone, you'll know that a similar concept failed for them, as Kicks on King Street closed within its first year of operation. So how will Off the Rack succeed where Kicks on King failed?
I think we do a lot of more earth tone stuff up here. So Winston, we try to do more of like the streetwear, the big graphic. Here we do more of like the earth tones. We brought the beanies, more cargo pants, not snow jackets, but kind of heavier jackets for the snowboarders.
And a big difference between the 2 stores is location. Kicks on King Street was all the way down King Street by Earth Fair,
while Off the Rack is in the heart of King Street. You can't miss it. That's why Ansel and his dad knew they had to have a location right here in Boone.
My dad actually took a trip up here and he saw how much foot traffic downtown Boone gets, and we knew that the foot traffic here in a vintage store would kill it.
So if you're on King Street and have a soft spot for 90s clothes and knickknacks, stop by Off the Rack.
This next item is certainly not new, but it's one you won't want to miss. Our own Dylan Henson took a trip to Jefferson, North Carolina to engage with residents at the Museum of Ashe County History. Their mission? To preserve and celebrate the rich tapestry of our region's past.
Ashe County became Ashe County, and it included Watauga County, it included Allegheny County, part of Avery County. And so this museum is the history of that whole area, if you call it Ashe County. And what you see here, we're trying to preserve that total history all the way back. And I think that it would be eye-opening.
Just 30 minutes northeast of Boone sits Ashe County, a stunning spot in the Appalachian region known for its beautiful landscapes. This area is filled with history, where stories from the past linger among the rolling hills. In the center of Jefferson, you'll find the Museum of Ashe County History, dedicated to preserving this county's rich past. I had the chance to speak with locals who are key to maintaining the museum's legacy.
This building was once the Ashe County Courthouse. It was built in 1904, and it was designed by an architectural company out of Charlotte called Wheeler & Runge, and they sold their design to a handful of different counties. And this remained the courthouse in Ashe County all the way to about 2001, when the county finally opened their new courthouse up the road. After that, there was a big push in the community. A lot of like-minded people came together and decided to preserve this building for use as a museum.
Before the turn of the 21st century, this building was the biggest venue in the area. Jefferson Mayor Peter Eller says it brought the community closer together.
I think it was in the 1950s before the schools had auditoriums. So all your graduation parties and graduation ceremonies took place upstairs in the courtroom. The benefits, the Blue Cross folks that come in, you come here, that's the only place you didn't have a theater. So they performed upstairs, and it seats 200, 225 people. So at that time, that's a large gathering area.
Back before there was things like the Ashe County Civic Center, when they needed a space to have a public event, oftentimes they would use this courthouse. Upstairs is where the courtroom was located, and it had plenty of seats, plenty of room. And so over the years, they would hold different events. They would have things like spelling bees, political functions, but they would also have music events. And over the years, I believe there's about 5 different country musicians who are now in the Country Music Hall of Fame that performed here in this building. People like the Carter family, the Monroe brothers, D. Ford Bailey, Uncle Dave Macon, and just a handfuls of other local artists that came here to perform.
But it isn't just the building itself that contributes to this area's history. Lynn Kemp, the gift shop manager here at the museum and lifelong Ashe County resident, recalls how things have changed with time.
The different way, it used to be years ago, and how it's progressed through the years, and how, we're more tourist area now than when I was growing up. It was mostly like, like plants where they made things and stuff, but it's all grown up now, and it's more computerized, and just so much more technology than we used to have.
From tourism to technology, the museum offers an amazing insight and perspective into the history of the High Country. Admission is free and open to the public, and they are open Tuesday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m.
We have so much more to show you, like the recent award-winning event at the Appalachian Theater.
And up on the mountains, it was time to shake your buns for an exciting and unique fundraiser. Local companies, teams, and individuals all donating generously to a noble cause. Just like a bakery, it's all about the buns. The public loves to take any and every opportunity to showcase the arts here in the High Country. One of these opportunities being the Boondocks Film Festival, which was recently held in downtown Boone on King Street.
The Boondocks Festival is a film festival dedicated to Appalachia and Appalachian documentary films, and it brings together films from all over the region to premiere them and screen them here in Boone, to celebrate the filmmakers, to celebrate Appalachia, and just to really learn more about the region and different parts of Appalachia and everything that makes it great.
Aside from documentaries, there are plenty of other things to do in the weeks ahead here in the High Country. Easter is on the horizon, and that means it's time for an Easter egg hunt for the kids. Mount Jefferson State Park will host theirs on the 30th.
Feeling adventurous? Speckled Trout Outfitters hosts the Linville Gorge Loop backpacking trip on March 27th, lasting 3 days and 2 nights. Do you have what it takes to tackle the trail? And music fans and lovers of the arts have plenty to do as well with a bluegrass jam and art crawl. And one of the coolest events is also on the horizon. The 44th annual Trout Derby is scheduled for April 6th in Blowing Rock. Test your abilities and try to reel in a plethora of prizes.
And finally, of the brightest events on the ledger, or maybe not so much, Grandfather Mountain hosts their solar eclipse viewing on April 8th. Just make sure you don't look without the special glasses.
Skiing, snowboarding, and shaking your buns? An interesting combination for sure. It was a cold, cloudy day, but Runs for Buns, the 5th annual charity event to benefit the Colon Cancer Coalition, would battle through the ugly conditions to create a unique and memorable day.
More than 100,000 Americans are diagnosed with colon cancer every year. To help bring that number down, the Colon Cancer Coalition created Runs for Buns, with a little help from a well-known high country destination.
So this weekend is our annual Runs for Buns weekend. All proceeds benefit the Colon Cancer Coalition. This is, like I said, our 5th year doing it. We do this to support the Colon Cancer Coalition because, one, it's dear to our hearts. We've all had someone affected by colon cancer, but 2, the Colon Cancer Coalition works to provide educational resources for families, advocacy, and more, which is just really incredible.
This event is important because it gets people talking. Not only does it raise the money, but it also creates a conversation within the community. It gives a chance to celebrate people who have had colon cancer, lost their battle with colon cancer, and also the survivors and patients that are still living with this disease. And it's just fun. It's a unique way. It's a really fun way to kind of get together, raise the money, and just celebrate the community.
Well, the sun's not out, but the buns certainly are. That's the goal here at the Runs for Buns charity event at Beach Mountain Resort. Skiers and snowboarders alike are uniting to slide down the hill as many times as they possibly can, each time raising more money for colon cancer research.
Our grandfather actually had prostate cancer a few years back. He beat that and he's doing really well. So he was really excited that we were coming up and doing a fundraiser that's kind of it's not for prostate cancer, but it's similar for colon cancer. So yeah, just a good event and a good way to round out the ski season.
I've had family members who've suffered from it. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of family members, just people we love suffer from colon cancer, right? And so to raise more awareness for it, to really increase funds, to look for ways of providing services to people, cures for people, care for people is really important.
When all was said and done, Runs for Buns raised over $100,000 for the Colon Cancer Coalition. I'd describe this wonderful high bun tree event as a smashing success. I know that I'm on a roll, but I am getting the sense that these bun puns are just a little bit cheeky. Okay, I'll stop with the puns. For more information, visit the Colon Cancer Coalition's website, and remember to always get your buns on.
We've seen an impressive season for Boone sports at the high school and collegiate level.
So get ready to rumble because there's no shortage of red-hot action and stories of greatness. Championships and roads to glory are the way of the mountains.
Bryce in the shotgun takes a snap. Troy sends 4. Bryce rolls left, gonna heave it deep, and it's not gonna get there. It's caught by Christian Horn. He's around the outside, and it scores! He scores! App State wins! Holy mother meatballs! It's a touchdown for App State on a Hail Mary! Christian Horn! Touchdown!
Watauga women's basketball made a historic run through the state playoffs. They made their first Final Four in school history. Their historic season came to an end against Charlotte Catholic in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Despite the final result of the game, head coach Bill Torgerson emphasized that even in defeat, the team should be proud of their accomplishments from this season.
The thing I keep saying is you all did this, so there's some kids that didn't play today, and those were kids that ran Myers' Park offense, and those were kids that worked on the Charlotte Catholic man offense. So they all did it, and that extends out into the community and the 2 kids that filmed the game. So just trying to give all those kids credit, and then we're really going to miss our seniors. So just from every rep being hard, hey guys, I want to start practicing on Saturday, the last part of the season. Okay, coach, we'll be there. Energy's a little bit low. They pick us up. They communicate. So when some of the best players and the most experienced players lead in that way, it makes my job a lot easier.
This week in High Country Sports, get ready for a lineup of thrilling matchups up on the mountain. Starting off on March 26th, the Watauga men's baseball team will take on Hyberton for an exciting matchup in Lenoir.
On March 28th through the 30th, App State's baseball team will face off against Marshall in a series at home. Meanwhile, in Louisiana, the Mountaineers softball team will face off head-to-head against the Ragin' Cajuns. Down the mountain, catch an intense matchup as Lees McRae's men's volleyball team faces off against Thomas More on March 29th.
You can catch some more Lees McRae action as well on April 2nd when the Bobcats softball team hits the diamond against Emory and Henry.
The High Country has a little extra muscle this year. App State's wrestling team recently competed in the SoCon Championships right here in Boone. Cody Bear paints the picture of what shook down on the mats.
After a long regular season on the mats, App State Wrestling finished with a final record of 10-4. That record includes going 7-1 in their conference. The season led the Mountaineers down a path to potential glory.
The Mountaineers' fantastic wrestling season in Boone leads to today when they host the SoCon Wrestling Championship.
The biggest day of the SoCon wrestling season took place in Boone, right at the Holmes Convocation Center. 9 wrestling teams from North Carolina and 4 surrounding states came to Elevation 3333 for the SoCon Championship. With App State hosting, the Mountaineers were able to compete in an arena full of their fans one more time this year.
Our fan base is unbelievable. We've just got a tremendous group of guys, and I'm just happy that we can do it while it's here at home.
Boone had a cold and rainy day outside, but heated competition warmed the inside of the Holmes Convocation Center right up, and there was a vast amount of it. For the first 2 rounds, there were 3 mats spread out across the entire length of the hardwood. 3 wrestling matches at the same time. The action lasted all day, with most wrestlers hitting the mats multiple times. In order for a wrestler to make it to the final of their weight class, they had to win in the first round and the semifinals, just hours apart from each other. App State did not disappoint. The Mountaineers had a wrestler in the finals in 6 of the 10 weight classes. And when the lights dimmed, it was championship time. This time, App State came out on top, with 5 wrestlers winning an individual SoCon championship. With the points added up, the Mountaineers repeated as SoCon champions.
I knew we could do it, but it was going to be a group effort, and I think, we all pulled together, all 10 guys, and we got it done. So it's just unbelievable, and I'm so grateful for it.
I couldn't be more proud of our guys. I mean, from start to finish, our guys battled all day. They did the little things that we need to do to put ourselves in a chance to win a championship, and thankfully we did.
Not only did the Mountaineers come out as SoCon champions, they also extended their wrestling season. The 5 wrestlers that won their weight class punched their tickets to Kansas City to compete in the NCAA championships.
The ultimate goal is to be on that podium in Kansas City. And our guys know that. It's the way our program's built. It's the way our schedule was built this year. And our guys will be ready in Kansas City.
It's that time of the year. Golf season is upon us. While the rest of us students were out enjoying our spring break, the App State golf team took a trip down to Myrtle Beach where they competed in the Surf Club Invitational at the Surf Golf and Beach Club. Our very own David Katzenmeyer was able to go down to Myrtle to get the inside scoop.
Welcome to the Surf Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. A popular vacation destination has recently become much more for App State, serving as a second home for the men's golf team while courses remain closed in Boone.
When we're down in Myrtle Beach, we're right at the start of their season where a lot of folks come to play golf, obviously, and for the Surf Club to give up their course for 2.5 days for us is just amazing. And then the support we've had out here with our App State fans. I mean, we've had a couple hundred people out here each day following the Mountaineers, so it's just been fantastic.
The Mountaineer support was one of the many reasons App State found success at the Invitational, finishing 3rd in a field of 18, while Addison Beam won the individual championship at 10 under par.
I just tried to keep level and just maintain, just make birdies as I go, just try to play for par and just let other people make mistakes. And I knew if I played consistently and just shot like a 3 or 4 under every day, I'd have to give myself a good chance.
Sticking to his mentality, Beam approached the 18th hole down by 1 stroke and knew if he was going to win, he would have to do something special.
You don't have to be a superhero to win. And, today he actually was very heroic. He birdied his last hole to get into a playoff, and then he hit an unbelievable shot on the 18th hole to finish out and win the playoff. So we're excited for him and very proud of our senior, and he's just such a great leader and a great person.
It took me 5 years to finally get the first one, and I've been in spots where I've been, tied for the lead or, a couple back. So winning's hard. Winning's very hard. This tournament, I just really made sure that I wasn't making mistakes and just letting other people make mistakes, and it worked out this time.
Congratulations to Addison Beam and the entire golf team on their accomplishments. After watching that package, I may have to go work on my swing myself. That will do it for this week's edition of Appalachian Weekly News. For more news throughout the week, make sure to follow us on all of our social platforms.
We leave you with a look from our App State campus down the mountain in Hickory.
On behalf of Jacob, myself, and all of the AWN crew, we thank you for watching and we wish you a good rest of your week.